I've been asking you about the masters, and now I'll ask about the PhD a little bit because I don't think that in a lot of African countries, like a place like Ghana, that the young people are exposed to mentors or role models of people who are scientists and engineers, and where they can readily get information about what inspired these people. If you are a professor now and you did a thesis, what led you to decide on that topic? For you, maybe it was straightforward, but for a young person thinking about their future, maybe they're asking themselves, how on earth do I decide? And how do I make sure it is relevant to my country? Or maybe it doesn't matter. Some people say that science is science. It doesn't matter. No matter what you do, it's relevant. Is that really how we should approach this? So I'm interested in your own views of the matter, right? So you said a few things already about your master's research. Now let's move on to the PhD. You spent 6 years playing the game to get promoted to senior lecturer, and then what?
As part of my work as a lecturer, I taught hydrometallurgy. And at that time, Ashanti Gold had just put online a biohydrometallurgy plant, which happened to be the largest in the world. It was fascinating, and I spent some time there. I think I spent about a month there just looking at the plant and learning about the dynamics.
They let you in. They were not afraid of an academic.
No, I went in on attachment as an intern.
Okay, you were there as an intern.
A lecturer intern.
Okay.
To get the dynamics of the system. And while there, I realized that there was a problem because they had double refractory gold ores.
In other words,
it contains that refractory gold ore that contains both sulfides and carbonaceous matter. And refractory gold ores are basically those from which direct cyanidation normally yields very low extraction efficiencies, below 80%. So even with the microbes oxidizing the sulfides, the recovery was still pretty low, around 80s. And the major reason why this was so is that we had some carbonaceous matter that was not attacked by the bacteria. So in my mind, I thought, well, if we could get some other bacteria or microbes that could eat this carbon, then we could get total oxidation of these two refractory causing agents and then maximize recovery. So I wrote a proposal about a technique. At that time, I didn't even know which bacteria could do that. But then I wrote that maybe there's some bacteria XYZ that could do the job. And I scanned through the possible professors around. And through discussions, I wrote to one professor in Canada, Queen's University by name Professor Yen. I attached my proposal and I attached my CV. And he told me that, well, my CV and the proposal all be good. But then, to qualify for admission, I needed, I think, an average of about 85% to get admission and with scholarship.
85% of what?
I mean, my master's or my bachelor's transcripts should actually register
85%.
85%. At that time, that is totally unheard of in Ghana for somebody to graduate with 85%, because first class started at 70.
The rules are too strict.
First class started at 70, and I didn't get first class. So I was somewhere in the 60s, and they were asking for 85.
Why don't you get the professors to just modify it?
So I told the professor that, okay, well, I'm going to apply. And if it happens that I don't meet your criteria for scholarship, just give me a raw admission and try me for 1 semester. Maximum 1 year, and then make your own decision. So he was sympathetic. He gave me admission, or he helped me to get admission, and I turned out he took me on as one of his students. In the first year I went in, I was actually late. I was late for about 3 weeks, and they thought I couldn't start the course. So they told me to defer the course and start the following semester. I told them they should just give me the chance to try. I went in there, took 3 courses, ran the course, and at the end of the semester I got an average of about 93, and they were impressed.
So you realize that the academic standards in Canada were not as rough and tough as those in Ghana.
I would say our way of marking was a bit.
Okay, so then you started doing research.
Yes.
Okay, and then were you successful in your original objectives?
Well, I'll say yes. I managed to get one actinomycet streptomyces etoni.
What is that?
It's a bacteria, but let me say a bacterium.
Yeah.
And
what color is it? Is it handsome or not so handsome?
Some thread-like type of bacteria. I groomed them, or I cultured them, fed them to the or they did a good job. They were able to increase recovery from about 83% to about 94%.
So they attack the carbon?
We tried to find out what exactly was happening by modeling using surrogates. And then we realized that they produce some kind of oxidizing agents,
okay,
and some alkaline metabolites. That one could titrate the acidic groups on the carbon.
Okay, so they don't act directly themselves, but they send some agents.
They generate agents that attack.
So then, you were, how long were you in? How long did you spend for the PhD? 4 years.
I spent 4 years for the PhD.
And then after that, what happened?
After that, I decided to go back to Ghana.
Okay.
And I went, I think after about 6 months or so.
You went back to Ghana.
I went back to Ghana.